Hello, everybody out there, and happy 4th of July. This is the Rights Out on Campus, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a full afternoon action slammed card here with Major League Baseball. I'll be your host today, Donnie Rights Out, as usual, with my partner in crime, Jeff Nadeau. He is the big man on campus. A lot to get through here, Jeff. Exciting day here. Let's win some money, buddy.
Yeah, happy 4th, Donnie. Always good to be on the air with you and all the listeners. We're here. We take no holidays off, Donnie. No vacations. We might be on vacation. I might be on vacation. You might be on vacation. But like you did in Disney, like I'm doing here, we press on, Donnie. Money to be made either way.
No, it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of interesting stuff going off already. A game which I always think is quite fun is the early game, 11 a.m. start here with the Nationals and the Mets here.
Yeah, I didn't play this game. I really didn't even look at it. I'm not a big fan of – I've made it clear I'm not a big fan of early games in any sport. 12 o'clock in football. There are just a lot of sports that I'm not a big fan of early games. So I didn't even look at this game, to be honest. But good luck if you're on it.
Yeah, Lugo's out there on the mound versus Ross. Again, I didn't look at it there. I didn't like the actual lines in the game. -170 laying with Joe Ross at home. I didn't think there was much value in that. Again, quirky stuff. Same thing that you talk about when you have a day baseball game. You know, traditionally starting at, as early as 12:30 or 1 o'clock. This one was pushed up all the way to 11 a.m. So something I wasn't really interested in all the way. Jeff, another good time. I mean, today, July the 4th. What does that mean in layman's terms for us here? 1 month away from the football conference that we're going to have down in Costa Rica. IFBC.live. If you haven't checked out the website yet, International Football Betting Conference is exactly what it's called. Jeff and I will be participating down there, hanging out for the weekend. It's going to be a fantastic time. If you haven't checked out yet there on SBR, get into the baseball contest, giving away free tickets all month long. And if I read it correctly, Jeff, with the promo that we got, free plane and also transportation and hotel accommodations?
I didn't get that email. Did I miss that one?
Yeah, I think it was running around Twitter where if you win the contest, they're going to offer 5 free plane tickets and trip down there. I know they'll probably bang me real quick on the back end if that is incorrect, but I thought I read that correctly there.
I mean, that's awesome. I'm not sure how they would do it, just because if you win the contest, wouldn't that be like literally 3 days before the thing?
No, but here's how I think they settled it up. I think if you participate in the contest, getting in the first week, that you are eligible for those 5 tickets.
Well, then I guess I'm going to have to earn my way into this vacation, Donnie. But either way, yes, it's going to be a fun time had by all. I will say this, and I will honestly say this. I think Donnie and we are not too cool for anybody. Come up to me. We can hang out, spend some time together, have a drink. I'll drink even. I will make it a point to have one.
You got to have a pina colada down there, something, mojito. I mean, we got to get you something, big man.
And again, I'm putting this out there to anyone, any presenter going down there, I'd love to debate with you. We can have a debate. Me and Clay Travis, we can have a debate. Love to have it. Donnie, we're sponsored by Bet Online, one of the best sports books in the business, one of the more respected names in the business. A book that I trust, I enjoy, I love. Very good with getting lines out. Head on over to Bet Online, doing some very good things in the business because you can, Donnie. That's their tagline. Please make sure you head on over there, check out their lines, check out what they have to offer. Donnie, when football comes, it's always good to have a variety of books. Obviously, it's good to also get those bonuses involved as well. That's always a nice thing. So many of those are definitely getting those out. But Bet Online, one of the best. To be eligible, you must have 5 picks in the July MLB Bet Points contest by the end of day on Friday, July 7th. The top 5 trip winners must confirm their ability to attend by the end of the day on July 12th. Airfare credit up to $750. Cash will be paid in person by SBR. So, I mean, look, if you can't fly to Costa Rica for under $750, you're probably not looking at the right airline, because there's plenty of easy trips to get down there. So we expect all of you to be there. Donnie, baseball is in center stage today. Let you in. Donnie, before we do, I'm just going to touch on this quickly. Miami went and got Gordon Hayward, which, look.
Is that official, by the way? Because I saw the phony report this morning. Is that actually official?
I believe it is. From what I heard, it's been tweeted out by.
Because the one guy had 10 tweets that just started yesterday, and he was the guy that broke the story.
Okay.
I haven't seen it anywhere on Twitter outside of this one guy who's a fake.
Okay. Then there we go. I mean, I could have sworn I've seen it by more than one, but again, let's just say if it happens and it's imminent, if it's Miami, you have to go out and make this happen. You finished, Donnie, tied with Chicago for the 8th spot. They had obviously the tiebreaker. This puts you obviously into the playoffs. This makes you a much better team. You have to go out and do this. Either way, Gordon Hayward is a guy that can transform your team. He's a star. Is he a superstar? No, but he's a very, very good NBA player, very solid kid, and he really makes your team a lot better. You have to do this. And another guy goes away from Boston, which I'm not mad about, Donnie.
No, I agree with that. And I actually really hope he goes to Miami because like Don Marino brings up the point, which again, I'm a Sixers fan. I can't look at Danny Ainge and not laugh. I mean, great. Hey, you can flip around your draft picks and you stole picks from
Right.
the Brooklyn Nets. But to be honest, outside of stealing a couple picks, he's a shitty GM.
No, he is. He's a bad GM, and he's been horrible at drafting players as well. I mean, again, I don't know what Jaylen Brown will be. Jaylen Brown, I got to tell you, I think he's going to be a pretty good player in this league. But again, I mean, he's really screwed this up royally for the Boston Celtics. And you look at next year going into the season, Don Marino's totally right. Miami was really good in the second half of the season. Eric Spoelstra was very good. I got to tell you, he's really surprised me as a coach. I thought he was literally a babysitter with LeBron James there. He has really coached his ass off, been a really good coach for a number of years. They're building something. They have Hassan Whiteside. They have some good young players. You throw in Gordon Hayward. I'm going to tell you right now, I think this is a top 5 team in the East. I think they will be. They're a pretty good team, and they're going to be a good team, especially if they can go out and get Hayward. That's a guy they have to go out and grab.
But, Jeff, also the one thing with the Miami Heat that always you have to appreciate is how well the overall team from top to bottom is run there. It seems to be anybody who talks about the Miami Heat, it's a first-class organization that has, the right head on their shoulders, obviously with Pat Riley running the organization, a owner with unlimited amount of resources, and everybody falls in line there. So they make, chicken salad out of you-know-what half the time down there. That's one team that if they made a pitch to you as a free agent, said, look, here's how we're going to build for the future, that's one team you could probably trust.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, they're well coached, you have good ownership, good GM, really starting to build something there. I'm excited. If you're a Heat fan, you should be pretty excited. Guan White saying hello. Welcome in, Guan White. I guess we'll see you. You're heading out. You must be at a party. Donnie, let's jump into the baseball card. Lot to do today.
Yes, Major League Baseball, as we said, underway here, Jeff. Top of the 5th inning. Lugo and Ross, 2-2 here. Man on and 2 outs here. Looks like 82 pitches already for Ross in the 5th inning. So, Jeff, what does that lead towards?
Say that again. 2-2.
Ross with 82 pitches in the 5th inning. That's going to lead to something here.
That would lead to a lot of Washington National bullpen, actually.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, we didn't really cap this game too much, but just find it interesting. It's almost like a sporting art, Jeff, that we get to watch the Nationals, and the minute a reliever comes into the game, and it doesn't matter which one, usually you can lean on at least one guy and say, look, I'm going to overuse you because the only guy I can trust. Jeff, everybody comes in equal opportunity to give up runs here for Washington.
Yeah, they're a mess, which we've talked about. I have nothing on this game. Couldn't care how it ends. All I'll say is Joe Ross gets support. We'll see how it goes.
You got it. All right, let's start off on the docket here, Jeff. 2:15 start here. It's going to be Miami and St. Louis, Urania and Lynn on the mound today. Over-under opened up at 9. If you take a look at Bet Online currently right now, Jeff, 9.5. You're going to get a decent price for a home team here. Opened up at 130. Bet Online showing a -124. Some quick particulars here on the game, Jeff. Urania, 11 starts on the season. He's giving you pretty good work. 3.69 ERA. Last Lynn had a tough last 3 starts. There's no getting around that. 17 earned runs, Jeff, over those last 3 starts. If you watch Lance Lynn pitch, he's a fastball guy. If he's not locating that fastball, this is not the lineup you want to face if you're just going to throw a 93, 94 mile an hour fastball that's going to catch most of the plate. So it's going to be interesting to see here bouncing back. Last night we all saw it, Jeff. Wainwright comes out. He was still trash, but when you're spotted with 11 runs before you get to the 4th inning, it's pretty easy to pitch in those situations. We'll see if it's a bounce-back game here for Miami again, because you're not going to have Jeff Locke on the mound who can't get anybody out. So an interesting one. If you're asking me what I probably would do here, most of you know I'm off the overtrain just for right now until after the All-Star break, until some things calm down. But 9.5 doesn't look too bad between these two. Yeah,
for me, I would look pride to Miami here. I'm not really into this game, but if I had to play, I would go Miami. 2 teams I'm not big fans of. Miami's lost 5 of 6 as well. They have not played well. Pitching's not been good. But you mentioned it, Donnie. Urania's been pretty good. He's been much better than what we've seen from Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn has been awful. 16 in the third, 17 earned runs, 19 hits, and 7 home runs over that 16 innings. Not good. Look, we've seen it. This Cardinal team just go cold from the plate. Look, Uranus pitched well. I would lean that way. It's not going to be on my card, but if I had to play it, I would go with the underdog Marlins here. I just don't like St. Louis. I can't seem to ever get this team right. And Lance Lynn is a fade pitcher right now for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at St. Louis, Jeff, their overall lineup, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence. I mean, Jorko is going to be out, who's quote-unquote your power guy. When your leadoff batter leads the team in home runs with 14, you have Pham, Piscotty, Voit, Molina, Grichuk, Dijon, Garcia. It's a mixed bag. You're right. I mean, can you lean on that team? I almost want to compare them sometimes, Jeff, to the Pittsburgh Pirates. You'll see them jump out like they did last night and put away, 14 runs on the board, and the very next night they can go with 4 or 5 hits overall and one actual scored run. So we'll see what happens here. I like the lineup that the Marlins are putting out for this game. Everybody in there who's of normal, obviously, as opposed to A.J. Ellis catching with Real Muto is going to sit out today. But, yeah, I don't trust that St. Louis lineup that much.
Yeah, I don't either, and I'm not sure there's anything they can do for me to trust them. They're not going to get any better. They just are what they are. They don't have much power. They got rid of that power when they let Matt Adams go. That was just what it was. For me, it's gun to my head. I take Miami, but it won't be on my card.
Yeah, next up here on the docket, Jeff, 9:55, 9:56, a game where I stole a winner yesterday in the first 5 innings wager with Nola over Nova. Tyone and Leiter's on the mound. Much different pitching discrepancy in my eyes today in favor of Pittsburgh here. Opened up as a -117, Jeff, with 70% of the tickets going on Pittsburgh. Normally you'd say, hey, let's fade the public. Let's see what the Philadelphia Phillies have to offer. But, Jeff, when that -117 opens up, and finishes at Chris at 155, Bet Online at 143, 5 Dimes at 145. That money seems to be that it means something the way it's moving here. Over-under opened up at 8.5, currently sitting at 8.5. As I said again, the Philadelphia Phillies only getting 30% of the tickets. The one thing that you want to look on, Leiter had a very good start his first time out, but not a very good start his last time out. He's a young pitcher. If you watch him pitch, Jeff, he doesn't have great stuff, which tends to believe that if Pittsburgh's going to hit anybody, hopefully they're going to be able to hit Leiter Jr. Tyone's been 3 really good starts out of his 4 pitching efforts after coming off the disabled list. To me, I'm a big Tyone fan, not because he beat cancer and, he had all the problems there. I just think he's a very good pitcher with a live arm similar to what you would see in a Garrett Cole. If you're asking me to take a play here, I'm actually not interested, Jeff, in taking something around 150, laying with the Pirates on the road. But the Phillies don't inspire much confidence today because of the pitcher that's going to have on the mound. And eventually, Pittsburgh has to get some hits here, we'd think, Jeff.
Yeah, Mark Leiter hasn't pitched at home this year. Both starts have come on the road. But Pittsburgh's lost 5 of 7, Donnie. In their last 4 games, they have 8 runs combined. They're just really struggling to hit. I mean, they're all hitting around 200 over the last 7 games. Phillies haven't really – look, they haven't been very good at home either. I mean, they're only hitting about 240. I wonder about Leiter. I really don't think this is a game where – I don't think the Pirates are going to crush him at any rate. They don't crush anyone. They've had struggles all year to hit consistently. And look, from what I've seen out of Mark Leiter, I've been somewhat impressed. I didn't think he would – I thought he would be roped, 7 runs in each start. He was very good out in Arizona. He's pitched pretty well. And Tyone has been very good. 10 starts, an ERA under 3. Look, with the way the Pirates are hitting right now or not hitting right now, I would look under 8.5 here. Again, maybe a first 5 under. Just with these bullpens, they can get a little shaky. But the Pirates don't give me much confidence. They're a lot like St. Louis. I just don't really ever feel comfortable. Yesterday, for me, it was a play on Nova. I just really thought Nova will go in and shut down the Phillies. The problem you have with Ivan Nova is he has great command, but there's a lot of pitches in the strike zone. If you're hitting him, you're going to hit him. For me, I'd look under here, but look, I got to be honest. I'm not sure how you can bet the Pirates at this price. I don't know why you would look at this game and say, again, Tyone's very good, but you have to score runs to win games, and I'm just not confident they can do that against anyone right now.
Yeah, if you caught that opening line at -117 or somewhere in that -120 range, I could see there's a lot of value there. But again, getting back to my point, same as yours, Jeff, there comes a point where even if you like the game, there's a value standard that you must meet. And the Pittsburgh Pirates aren't exactly, the Houston Astros rolling into town where you have confidence that they're just going to go 1 through 8 and rake. The one thing that when you back a team I always like to see. It seems to me, Jeff, and correct me if I'm wrong, like Pittsburgh has to play like station-to-station baseball, get a walk and 2 singles to score a run, whereas anytime you have a baseball team, it's always nice where, you get a walk and a 2-run blast. You get a double in the gap, another double follows it. Pittsburgh just doesn't instill that power episode that you need to actually push that team forward, because when all else fails, if you can hit a 3-run home run at any given time, you're always going to be back in the game. Just to me, it seems like pulling teeth. You have to get Pittsburgh to do anything on the bases as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're 25th in runs scored per game. I mean, they're having they don't have a lot of good hitters in that lineup. So you hit into a lot of double plays. You're not moving runners. Late in games, you have really no reason to think they're going to come back. And Donnie, you look at this line. I mean, you look at some of these books. I mean, it's up to 155 at BetDSI. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, this line's going up a ton, and it looks like a lot of the public's back in the Pirates here. I mean, you see Tyone, you see Leiter Jr., they see his issues that they think he has, but he's had one really good start and one decent start, not horrible. Yeah, I'm not interested here. I would go under if I had to play it, but I can't lay 155 right now with the Pirates.
No, I agree on that. I agree. Now, keeping the next game in order, Jeff, 9:57, 9:58 on the docket here. What a match made in heaven. Homer Bailey is heading out to Coors Field here. No surprise that they hang an under of 12.5. A huge pitching disparagement here is what I would like to say between these two pitchers. Bailey and Freeland on the mound today. A 13. It opened up, actually, Jeff, backed up to 12.5. Over under. Currently sitting 12.5 across the board sidewise here for us, Jeff. Freeland, 148. Looks like 148 approximately across the board. Bet Online showing a -146. If we cross-reference Chris, they're at -154. So certainly leaning towards the home squad. Also with 77% of the tickets currently backing the home Colorado Rockies. Some tidbits here. Homer Bailey actually improved his ERA with his last start, Jeff, to get down to a 26.98 ERA. Freeland's 7 home starts. This is Coors Field, folks. A 3.21 ERA. Homer Bailey going to Coors Field. Now, the contrarian in us all, Jeff, would like to believe that Homer Bailey is going to go 7 innings and 1 earned run. But honest to God, Jeff, I can't see it here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's possible for this guy. I mean, he's really struggled. I mean, I don't know what else to say. 4 1/3, 14 earned runs in 2 starts. I mean, what more do you say about Homer Bailey? I mean, I'm not sure anyone thought he would come back and pitch well. I mean, I think he's honestly on the level of your Jarrett Weavers, your Bronson Arroyos, your Bartolo Colon. He just doesn't have much left in the tank. And you got to go out to Coors Field. Really looks like really looks tough today for him. But then you look at Colorado and you say they've lost 10 of 12. I mean, they're not an easy team to back right now. Freeland's a guy I like. I've mentioned I really like him at home. He's really kind of come into his own at Coors Field, really feeding off him being from that area. Really has kind of become a really good pitcher. Donnie, you look at his numbers. He's had great numbers. You look at his under numbers. 7-0 to the under at home this year. 12-2 to the under in his 14 starts. Yeah, I'd look Rockies here. I'm not betting Homer Bailey. This team also has major issues against left-handed pitching. They're 4-14 against left-handed starters. Freeland should be able to hold down the Reds, and I think the Rockies start to, they get the job done here. Maybe start to win a couple games against pitchers you should. Cincinnati is the worst team ERA in baseball. I don't think it's going to get any easier tonight. It's actually going to get a lot worse with Bailey on the mound here.
Jeff, next up here on the docket, maybe one of 2 games today in Major League Baseball that could close as a favorite of 300 or higher. The first one here, Arizona and the LA Dodgers. Going to be Corbin and Kershaw. Battle of left-handed pitchers. Over-under opened up at 7. Currently sitting at 7 across the board. Looks like 5 Dime showing up with the 7.5. Sportsbook.com double juiced 7.5. Kershaw opened up at a -260. If you look at Sportsbook.com right now, Jeff, a -300. There's one of those poking through. Bet Online, -285. So most of them are heading a little bit south of 300, but, by game time, it's a 9 o'clock start. A lot of people are going to try to get back their money on Clayton Kershaw, which might point that one up to 300. Take a look at some particulars. 6 road starts for Corbin, Jeff. He's not going to fare well if he continues to pitch at a clip of an 8.13 ERA on the road. We all know Clayton Kershaw. It's the same thing, it seems, Jeff, almost every single time out. 17 starts overall, a 2.80 ERA. Good luck. You need to put up at least 3, 4 to 5 runs to beat Clayton Kershaw. Good luck with that one, Jeff.
Yeah, Donnie, stat-wise, the two best pitching staffs in baseball, these two. Dodgers, not surprising. Arizona, surprising. But, Donnie, I have to be that guy. Every night, I'm going to put this out. 48 of the 56 wins for the Dodgers have come by 2 or more runs. That's 86%. I mean, what more do you say to that? This Arizona team is not as good on the road, only hitting 241. And for all those people who I've heard on various shows, not only in SBR, but on other channels, Clayton Kershaw's lost a step. He's lost something. He is the best FIP, which is for all those sabermetric people, what they look at. They don't look at ERA. He is the best FIP among starters in the major leagues. The only ones better than him are relievers. So he has not really missed much of a beat. 11 strikeouts a game. He's been on fire. And at the end of the day, you look at when he pitches, the Dodgers are 15-2. Okay? I mean, you also look at the fact of all those people that are out there saying Dodgers can't hit lefties. This team's not backable against lefties. 5.5 runs a game at 265. They've really started to hit lefties at a high rate. They got their guy in the mound today. I got to be honest, Donnie. There should be no other reason every day you are not betting on the Dodgers -1.5 at this point. I don't know how else to say it. I've been pounding it into people's heads for months. If you're not doing it, you've lost a lot of money. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot more money to be made. There's a whole nother second half of the season. It's time to stop making excuses on why you're not doing it and get on it and do it. It's time to get on the Dodgers run then if you're not doing it.
No, you're right about that. I mean, it's just a proven fact, especially with your lane. I don't know, what's the value on the run line today, even Jeff? -150, probably something like that.
I believe when I was doing my notes, it was like 135. But you look at right now, it's what is it?
It's probably around that range. Yeah,
140,
150. Yep.
But Donnie, at this point, is it any different than laying the money line really with them? I mean, they're covering so much. Do you really even care about the 1.5 runs?
It's almost like that shoebox bet. The one thing I will give credit for Arizona, I know they don't hit as well on the road. A.J. Pollock's due to come back soon. The one thing that does give you a little bit of pause is when Arizona can get the bats going, they can score on just about anybody. So if you're hanging on that saying, I'm going to take a flyer with Patrick Corbin because Arizona can hit the baseball, I see that, but it's just, I mean, it's not good money throwing it after the guys like Clayton Kershaw, or Max Scherzer.
And again, for anyone who missed what I just said, I also made it clear he is the highest FIP among starters. Not everyone. I'm aware that there's people that have higher FIPs than him. Among starters, according to Fangraphs, he has the highest FIP. Okay? So that guy, remember, I said starters.
I think the lowest FIP might actually be Kluber, isn't it?
I meant the highest, best number. Sorry. That's what I meant.
Because it looks like Kluber's got a 261 FIP. And Kershaw's got 324. Anything around that 3 range is off the charts, though. You're right about that.
Not according to Fangraphs. From what I saw, he has the highest FIP. But again,
no, I mean it's still ridiculously low. You're right.
And Donnie, as far as another thing with the Dodgers, you can almost pick when they're going to lose. You almost kind of know when they're going to lose. Like Sunday, were you surprised they lost with Maeda on the mound?
No, they're the ones that you're right about that. Those are the ones. And at San Diego, right? Just one of them sleepy environment games, getaway game.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So for me, I'm going Dodgers run line here.
Yeah. Next up here on the docket, it's going to be an interesting one here in the Bronx, Jeff. Toronto and the New York Yankees. Another key saying for today would be who's coming back from the DL and who's going to pitch well off the DL. 2 lefties going to battle it out. That's Happ and CC Sabathia. Over under, Jeff, opened up at 9.5. Currently sits at 10 across the board. So one would expect some runs here today coming into the Bronx. -113, CC Sabathia opens up as a favorite, but has swung over to Happ. Pinnacle's at -115. Bet online at -111. So it looks like some of those numbers have been moving despite 61% of the tickets backing CC Sabathia. Took a bad time to go on the DL, Jeff, because CC was having a really good year. So we'll see if that layoff here, and again, getting into summer baseball, it's a little bit warmer there out on the mound and a day game. Happ's had 1 bad start out of 6 since coming back from the DL. So he sustained himself and looks like going to be a good pitcher going forward, similar to what he was doing last year with winning over 20 games. CC Sabathia, again, had a very, very shaky start. Sensational month and a half, goes on the DL. But again, not a long DL stint, Jeff. We're not talking 30, 45 days. Only missed basically 1 to 2 starts there. So we'll see what happens in this one. One would expect CC Sabathia to get hit around today. But again, coming off the DL, he's rested. I know it was a hamstring injury, which can be kind of tough for the big guys out there. But I don't have much on this game overall because I'm not big on taking guys straight up coming back from the DL. But an interesting line movement heading towards Toronto here with the lefty Happ on the mound.
Yeah, I'll be the first one saying I took the Yankees today. It's not a premium play. I took it for a couple shillings. It's a half a unit play for me, and I'll put that out there. It starts in about 10 minutes. You look at CC Sabathia, Donnie. I mean, even before the DL stint, I mean, they've won 10 of his 13 starts. I mean, it's not like Toronto can hit lefties. I mean, they're hitting 227 against left-handed pitching this year. CC, obviously before his DL stint, last 18 and a third, 1 earned run, a whip of .76. Very good numbers in his career against the Toronto Blue Jays. Don, I want to mention something. The most double plays in baseball, grounding in, Toronto, 1.06 per game. Ground into a lot of double plays. They're not moving runners. They're just a team that's very hit or miss, and they've really become a miss team lately. They're not hitting. They've had trouble against lefties. They've lost 6 of 7, only hitting 183 during that time. I expect CC to come back, pitch well in this game. Again, at the end of the day, the Yankees are very good at home. 25-13, 6.2 runs a game. At this price, at home with the Yankee lineup against a guy and the team in Toronto who I'm not interested against lefties, I'll take a shot with CC. I got plus 102 on a number here with the Yanks. At home, for me, that's just something I'm going to look to do. Donnie, I've mentioned time and time again, for me with baseball, I look to a lot of the same things. I bet a lot of the same teams. When I can get a team at this price at home, I'm going to look to do it. I think they're a better team than Toronto. I think CC will be just fine coming off the DL here and continue his fantastic pitching. I like CC.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. But I've been waiting. Again, I haven't wagered on the game, but I wished it was a little bit hotter today. Because once you start getting into the 90s, CC's going to have some very short outings. We'll see how he pitches today and comes back. But as we said, he has done very well since being just before the DL. Jeff, why don't we skip down, getting somebody asking here, another 1 o'clock game before it tips off in a few moments here. Kane and Fulmer, rotation 971 and 972. On the mound today, over-under opened up at 10, currently sitting at 10, a massive favorite for Michael Fulmer at home. Opened up at minus 200, currently sitting at minus 215 at Chris. Bet Online still over 200 at a minus 203. So a heavy, heavy favorite. No surprise. If you watch Fulmer's last time out against the Kansas City Royals, he was sensational, taking his start all the way up to the 9th inning where he got touched up just a bit here, but a comfortable winner over the Kansas City Royals. If we look at some of the particulars in this ball game here, let's see if I actually have the correct game stats up here for us. Kane's 8 road starts, 0-5 on the season, Jeff, an 8.31 ERA. Fulmer, 3 straight really solid starts, and again being at home. Sometimes when you look at pitching matchups, I don't like it because it's a minus 200. I think Matt Cain stinks, and San Francisco tends to not hit the baseball well. But the one thing I do like is when a pitcher pitches really well, Jeff, at home, and then gets a follow-up start at home without going on the road, it tends to pitch well. You just saw it with Pittsburgh, with Williams on the mound having 2 straight back-to-back, very good starts at home within a 5-day stretch. So that's one thing to keep your eye on. I don't have much on this game just because the simple fact is I'm not backing Matt Cain on the road, but also I'm not taking a Detroit team at over minus 200 here.
Right. This seems like one of those games, Donnie, where I think a lot of people will maybe throw Detroit in a parlay, and this one will look good for a while. And then, look, at the end of the day, unless Mike Fulmer goes 8 or 9 innings, I'm really not confident that Detroit can get the job done. They have the worst bullpen in the major leagues as far as numbers are concerned. Look, if I was given a free bet on this game, I would take San Francisco. They're playing pretty good right now. Matt Cain is, yes, not a good pitcher on the road, but I think if we've learned anything over the last couple weeks in baseball, sometimes like during these times, you got to go with what doesn't make sense. And I don't think it makes a lot of sense betting on Cain today. Therefore, at this price, with the way the San Francisco Giants have played, I'll take a shot with them here. I'm not – again, Fulmer's been good. I'm not a huge fan of his, though. I'm not a huge fan of the Tigers in general. You finally get San Francisco playing pretty well. If I was given a free bet here, I would take the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a flyer in that game. Just had somebody ask me what the ticket count was. It was 7,100 on this game. So overall, obviously outside of the game that just started, this is the second highest bet game of the day with totals. 68% backing Detroit, 71% of the money, but not a huge line movement there. And you shouldn't have a huge line movement. When you get a favorite like Detroit and Fulmer at minus 200, do you expect that game to go to minus 240? No. You probably expect it to come back a little bit because, and again, it's a 1 o'clock start, so it hasn't moved that much, but still sitting just about across the board over 200, which is kind of interesting to me there.
Yeah, one other thing, someone's asking about the Dodgers. He's concerned about them late. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not afraid to say it, the LA Dodgers are the best team in baseball, in my opinion. I think they don't have any flaws. There are very few flaws in this team, Donnie. If you can locate a flaw for me, I'd like to hear it because I don't see it. And I can name a flaw in every other team. I even think Houston has a flaw. I think their bullpen is flawed. I don't see that. I'm not in love with that bullpen. I'm not. They have a great lineup, but other than McCullers and Keuchel, who's been injured a lot, what do they really have in that rotation? I mean, really. Their lineup's great, but when you look at the Dodgers, there are not many flaws with this team, if any.
It's going to be an unbelievable arms race at the deadline, Jeff, between a lot of these teams, the haves and the have-nots here. I mean, people are going to be sellers at the deadline, and those two teams are going to have to ramp up almost like a arms war, which is going to be fun to watch because if they do meet up in the World Series, that's going to be a great World Series, man.
Yeah, and as far as – listen, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, if you could find me a flaw, Dodgers aren't great on the road. Well, from what I remember, they have a winning record, which is fine by me. They're great at home. And, look, I mean, at the end of the day, as far as the Dodgers, do we have their road record, Donnie? I have to get that. I don't have that in front of me. But either way.
Keep going. I'll find it. Keep going.
Either way, we'll move on here. But, yeah, I'm all over this team. I love them.
Let's see if we can find the Dodgers. I got their game up right here. It'll tell me in a second here. Actually, you know what? They're home today, so I won't be able to.
Yeah, I know. I'll get it.
No big deal. Ain't a big deal. All right, next up here on the docket for us, LAA, the Angels, taking the show to Minnesota. It's going to be Ramirez and Gibson. Don't want to confuse these two with aces. Rotation 963, 964. Over/under opened up at 10.5. How about this, Jeff? A Gibson game opens at 10.5 and backtracks to 9.5. Small favorite Gibson opens up at minus 110, actually growing a little bit higher, minus 117 at Bet Online. So some interesting line movement in the favor of Gibson. Yes, I said that correctly here. Ramirez is 6.75 in his last 3 starts. Check out Kyle Gibson. You have 3.86 in his last 3, but you can't hide his overall home ERA is a 7. If you're looking at this game overall, I think Minnesota has better bats than the Angels. I don't know if Gibson is a better pitcher than Ramirez overall, but a short line like that, Jeff, I'm more inclined to take Minnesota here as the home team.
Thank you, Emza. 22-18 for the Dodgers. Yeah, again, we're grasping for straws here, trying to find flaws with this team. We just need to accept that they're the best. I don't know how else we could stop talking ourselves out of it. We could talk about Clayton, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, they've played the best this year. They're the best team right now. If we're talking about the 4 games above 500 on the road, and they're absolutely dominating at home. Are they 29-9 on the road like Houston is? No. But I'm going to tell you right now, they're in a much tougher division. Houston doesn't have anyone in that division. That division's trash. They're garbage. Angels stink. Seattle stinks. Texas stinks. I mean, what do you have in the division? You're playing it there, and they're also, Donnie, playing the best division in baseball.
Yeah.
NL West is the best division in baseball. That's what they've done this year. Yeah, everyone has to question everything about the Dodgers. Just get on the train. Stop trying to look for flaws. As far as this game, Donnie's concerned, I don't have too much on it. For whatever reason, I feel like I forgot about this game.
Why would you not?
Right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Twins, Angels. Donnie, the Angels are 12-1 on Tuesdays, which –
That's still going on, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
I noticed, though, look through a lot of the teams today, Donnie. A lot of teams are good on Tuesdays. I don't know why that is. Very weird. Twins are poor at home. I don't trust Gibson. I don't think this is some kind of flash of the pan. Gibson's not going to continue to pitch like this. But the Angels have started to not hit. This one's a pass for me. If I had to play it, I got to be honest. When Kyle Gibson's laying in a number, I'm going to look to fade him, especially with the Twins at home. Yeah, I guess I would lean Angels here, but it's not going to be in my card.
Next up here on the docket, big game. James Shields takes the mound versus Oakland and the youngster Gossett, 965, 966 on the rotation. Over under opened up at 9.5. Currently 9.5 across the board. Gossett, Jeff, a heavy favorite, -160 opens up. Backtracked a little bit. Bet Online now showing a -149 overall. Still a healthy number for the youngster. Take a look at some splits here. 2 good starts and 1 bad start off the DL for big game James. Gossett struggles on the road, but his 1 start was really good, Jeff. 6 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs. Heading out to Oakland, what are you going to get out of big game James? Because, again, he's been shaky throughout the past couple years of his career. We all know how Oakland technically plays at home, despite the White Sox winning yesterday. We'll see if they can bounce back. If you're just line reading here, Jeff, 47% of the public are lining behind Oakland. Line backtracked a little bit, 53% backing the Chicago White Sox here. Only 3,600 tickets tracked in this one, so not a lot of bets and a lot of heavy movement. Oakland, always that tricky team to figure out, and a youngster on the mound today. I don't have much here, Jeff.
Yeah, I will be on Oakland or the White Sox in this game, Donnie. Look, I backed the Braves the other day. They were big underdogs against the Oakland Athletics on Saturday. Blackburn was pitching. I didn't understand the line there, and I don't understand it here either. James Shields has actually been very good on the road. 3 games, 17 road innings, just 5 earned runs. He kind of reminds me in the same spot, R.A. Dickey. You're not in love with backing him, but listen, I'm not sure why Gossett's laying 165. I really don't. Oakland's been really poor against right-handed pitching this year. And you look at the last 7 games, we have to remember here. Here's what you're doing if you're betting on Oakland today. You're betting on a team with Gossett on the hill, and they've hit 179 over the last week. Yeah, sounds like a team I want to lay 165 with. I'm good. I'll take the White Sox here. I think this lineup's better than people think. I've said that time and time again. I'll go with the White Sox here. Great value here if you like an underdog. I just don't think Oakland should be laying this kind of number. We've seen them lay this kind of number lately at home, and I just don't really understand it.
Yeah, interesting. Keep an eye on that game. 4 o'clock start to be a 1 o'clock show. High sky out there in Oakland. We'll see how that plays into it. And again, tons of foul ground, but an interesting pitching matchup overall. I just think that line is a little bit out of whack when you try to read into it. It tells me it's an Oakland line, but do you really want to lay that much is what overall makes sense there. Next up on the docket, Jeff, 6:40 p.m. start, Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be Kansas City and Seattle. King Felix on the mound here versus Danny Duffy. Welcome back from the DL. So Kansas City starting to get some of their rotation back together. Over-under opened up at 9 with double juice. Currently sitting at 8.5 across the board. Felix Hernandez opens as a -148 and looks like he's backtracked, Jeff. Bet Online now currently showing a -130. Despite a 50-50 ticket split, you have some reverse line movement there going against King Felix. If we look at his starts here, back after a month off, as I said, with Danny Duffy, we'll see if he can get back under rhythm. Didn't follow his AAA starts or his rehab starts, right? Don't know exactly where he is back there. But again, one of those guys, it's a wait-and-see approach. If you just get back on the DL, probably not going to be on the game either side. King Felix, 2 straight quality starts on the DL. Can he make it 3 in a row here, Jeff, versus the Kansas City Royals?
It's going to be tough. I mean, Kansas City's really been murdering the ball last couple weeks. I mean, they've really started to become a team that you have to look at them. I mean, you look at in the major leagues, 3rd with runners in scoring position as far as getting those runs in. And Donnie, we saw that during their World Series run. We saw them do that. They were just amazing with runners in scoring position. They played small ball. They got runs in. Ned Yost, for whatever reason, his team's just always very good at that. They're playing small ball, and they're getting the job done here. You look at this total right now, Donnie, a Bet Online, 8.5, -120. I think this is a pretty fair price to bet it over. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of Duffy off the DL. Hernandez, look, is near the end of his career. I think he's going to struggle a little bit here against this lineup. And, look, Seattle's a bet-on team as far as offense for me at home. I think they're a team that normally they're going to score some runs at home. All we need is 4 runs apiece here. I think we should go over here. I think 8.5 is a pretty nice number. Both these teams have been bet-on teams as far as offense is concerned. I'd look over here.
All right, next up in the docket, 969, 970. It's going to be Boston and Texas. Price and Darvish on the mound. Over-under opened up at 9, currently sitting at 9. Darvish opened up as a slight favorite at Pinnacle at -110. It's creeped up a little bit there. If we take a look at Chris, -128. Bet Online, -125 in this one. Some particulars here. 4 road starts for David Price at a 5.32 ERA. Darvish's 9 home starts, a 3.65 ERA. 2 teams in the American League, they're going to be battling for playoff contention here. A nice series we saw last night. Amazing. Craig Kimbrell gave up a home run, but still Boston was able to rebound in extra innings and steal the win back from the Texas Rangers. We'll see if that continues today, but from what looks to be a decent pitch-up matchup here and a fun game to watch.
Yeah, Boston's won 7 of 8, Donnie. Really starting to hit the baseball. 7.5 runs a game, 308 during that time. And you look at during that 308, that 7.5 runs a game, opponents 2.9 runs a game, hitting 190. Their pitching's been fantastic. They've been hitting and scoring runs. But then you have David Price today. I don't want to bet against you, Darvish. Not a big fan of doing that. Look, the problem for me, though, is, Donnie, Texas can't hit left-handed pitching. It's just not been very good. I'm not looking to jump in front of the train right now. That's Boston. But I got to be honest, I kind of like the under a little bit here. But when you're betting Texas, it's always tough to bet unders just with that bullpen. Maybe a first 5 under. You're probably going to get 4.5. I'd probably look first 5 under. Hopefully David Price can keep it in the yard because 9 times out of 10, Donnie, you Darvish is going to be pretty effective. And this could be a game where Boston could just not show up. I mean, that would surprise me here. They haven't maintained that 2-3 week consistency. They could very well lay an egg here. Not big on the game. It's a pass for most part for me.
You got it. Next game I'm interested in, Jeff, here. 220 starts are coming up rather quickly here. 973, 974 in the rotation. Tampa Bay, Chicago Cubs, Archer, Lester. Nice pitch up here. Nice pitching matchup here on the mound. 4,800 tickets have been tracked here. Over-under in the Windy City, Jeff, opened up at 8. 7.5 at Pinnacle, 7 at Chris, 7.5 at Bet Online. Small favorite opened up for Leicester at -137. Sticking right in that ballpark, Jeff. Opened up at -137. Bet Online still showing a -140. 65% of the wagers coming in on the home team here with John Lester. Some reserves coming back. I see Zobrist in the lineup today. Hayward in the lineup today for Chicago Cubs. Not going to lie, it was one game that I was looking at, Jeff, in the way to hopefully favoring the home team with Lester. But Archer does have some decent numbers there, and I can see Archer pitching very well in this environment, wind blowing in Wrigley. So I decided to pass on this game, but I was trying to find a loophole, Jeff, for Lester. If we take a look at some particulars on this ball game, 8 road starts, a 4.21 ERA for Lester. Last 3, a 5 ERA. 9 home starts for Lester. No surprise. He likes to pitch there. 2.68 ERA. Some heavy right-handed action coming at Lester, who obviously is a lefty. We'll see if that manipulates at all, but he has both good numbers between lefties and righties at home, Jeff.
Yeah, opponent's only hitting 205 against John Lester in Wrigley Field. Cubs, not good against right-handed pitching. 228 average. Tampa Bay, 9-16, a 226 average against lefties. Look, Chris Archer, I'm not in big belief of his ERA. I still think he's a very good pitcher, good strikeout pitcher. Donnie, I took the under here on 7.5 at Bet Online. It's one of the only books that has it. Jump over to Bet Online. We've been harping on that. If you have Bet Online, I think the under here is a good play. Wind's blowing in 10 miles an hour. I think this is going to be a pitching duel. I really do. I think both these teams will struggle against the opposing pitcher. I think this is like a 3-2, 4-3 type of game. It'll be close, but I'm not interested in the over in either of these teams. I think both teams, like I said, will struggle. They don't have good numbers against opposing pitchers. And Lester's been very good at home. So under for me, 7.5.
Yeah, I can't argue with you there. Another interesting pitching matchup from both sides, 975, 976. Ubaldo Jimenez versus Jimmy Nelson. 4,900 tickets have been tracked, and over-under opened up at 10. It's backtracked a little bit to 9.5. Nelson opened up as a decent favorite of -142. He's ballooned up, Jeff, to Bet Online at -160. And again, I can't get mad at that number because if you look at some of the matchups here, I know – look, Jimenez went 8 innings, 0 earned runs versus the Toronto Blue Jays. I just want to take that out of my memory and just erase it because I really can't believe it happened. I think you want to talk about regression from one start to the next. He's got to give something up in this. A good hitting lineup out there. I think Ryan Braun is out for this game, but it doesn't matter. Everybody in that lineup from Milwaukee can hit. If we take a look at Nelson, 2.64 ERA through 9 home starts in Milwaukee, which is a hitter's ballpark. I'm not a big fan of laying anything over 150 here, but I would be hard-pressed to bet Baltimore right now against Jimmy Nelson. Maybe even a first 5 might be in order. Just take the bullpens completely out of it. Maybe, first 5 run line -0.5 might be a decent solution because you're probably getting somewhere around maybe -110, -115 on that. I can't bet Ubaldo Jimenez, and if he throws another game, Jeff, that's 8 innings or 7 innings or 6 innings, 0 earned runs, I will be absolutely baffled by that.
Yeah, by the way, real quick, back to the Cubs quickly. last 9 of 10 have gone under, Donnie. So they've been definitely an under machine, which Isan's talking about. And also 2 near home runs for CC Sabathia. Donnie, I almost had sex last night. I didn't, though.
Yeah, Ellsbury had 2 really nice plays in that inning, both going to left center and right center, tracking down balls that could have been doubles. Yeah.
The word to anyone, almost doesn't count in this business. You either win or lose. CC didn't give up any runs, so we'll take it. Donnie, in this game, I got to tell you, and I'm going to surprise some people here, you look at Ubaldo Jimenez's splits, they're not that bad. I mean, he doesn't allow opponents to get 350 off him. He just gives up way too many home runs. I mean, 15 home runs in 11 games. His road ERA is not good. He's got to stop giving up home runs, but I don't think it's going to get easy against Milwaukee today. They hit a lot of home runs, and look, Donnie, the Baltimore Orioles, 14-26 on the road. Opponents hitting 294 against this group. They have the second worst pitching group in baseball, and it's hard to get involved with them, especially with the Baltimore Menace. Jimmy Nelson's been very good. Last 3 starts, he's going 7 innings in all of them, 1 whip, and 6 earned runs over those 21 innings. Yeah, Brewers look good here. Maybe throw them in a parlay. Yeah, Steve Mapp, I almost covered last night. Yeah, that doesn't mean much here. It doesn't matter if you win by 1 or 100. If you lose, you lose. We'll see how CC goes the rest of the way. But, yeah, for me here, Donnie, I think under's kind of a sharp player. Under, if you can get 10, I feel like maybe it's a pretty good
the way baseball's going. I mean, yeah, those 10s used to look really smooth about a month ago, but now, I mean, again, you're looking at this Washington game, which was still on pace 6-2, but we've seen it before. You still got to get 2 more runs in that game. And again, you're not going to get the bottom of the 9th probably because Washington's going to have the lead. So we'll see if that one comes in. But until that number hits 11 in these games, you haven't won a damn thing. Doesn't matter how early they're getting these runs. We've seen the funks that some of these teams could go into.
And you would expect regression from Ubaldo Jimenez here. Not in love with this game. If I had to play it, I think the Brewers will win.
Got it. An early lead here, top of the first. Let's see what happened. But the Giants take a 1-0 lead early over Michael Fulmer. So I don't know if that's a solo home run or what they put
Donnie.
together there. Yeah, go ahead, man.
What a surprise. No one thought that would happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Fulmer just lights out his last time out, first inning. Already gives up 1 run.
Yeah. Hunter Pence. 2-out home run from Hunter Pence. And then Buster Posey comes up, first pitch out.
He's out. Damn it.
See ya.
Dipping down to 339, I guess. Oh, well. Next up here on the docket, we'll keep it moving right down the list. 2 games to go here, Jeff. San Diego, Trevor Cahill, again, theme of the day, coming back from the DL versus Kluber. Oh, let's get into some of these particulars here, Jeff. Over-under opens up at 8 is 8.5 is backtracked to 8. 300. Bet online, -317. Sportsbook.com, -340. Bovada, -340. Pinnacle, one of the sharpest books out there, -320 in that game. An outlandish number. Kluber's last 3 starts at home, Jeff, a .37 ERA. We all know how good he is at home, but nobody's a -300 good in any environment. I don't care. I'm not laying that money. Sometimes with the plus, I've seen one of those stats out there was either -250 or -300 or over. If you just automatically fade the favorite, I believe you're up money all time just doing that. And that's one of those environments that I would just look at doing the same. I'm not going to bet this game, but I can't fault you if you're just out there saying, you know what? Let me throw $50 money line on San Diego out there. What's the worst thing that can happen? I lose the $50 with no juice, or I damn near, triple my money. But I'm not interested in this game at all, one bit. Run line makes no sense, as well as just taking a favorite either way.
Yeah, I don't do this either, Donnie. But here's the one thing I will say. I wouldn't have like if I had $1 billion, I would bet Cleveland here. Because you look at Cleveland, it's fairly unlikely San Diego is going to be able to hit Kluber. And I'm going to tell you right now, Cleveland's one of the best bullpens in the major leagues. That back-end bullpen is nasty with Shaw, Cody Allen, and Miller. You would think Corey Kluber's going to go deep in this game. The problem I have here is, can Cleveland score any runs? Donnie, I don't know if you know this. Do you happen to know who's worst in the major leagues with runners in scoring position?
Who's worse or worst? Would it be the Indians?
The Cleveland Indians. They've left they leave almost 4 runners in scoring position a game, left in scoring position. They're not getting runs in. It wouldn't surprise me if Cahill dominated them today. It really wouldn't. But look, it's hard to imagine. I mean, you have to lay almost 160 on the run line in this game. If you have to play it, yeah, I wouldn't play it. I don't play this kind of number, but I think this line clearly shows you that Kluber will dominate today. I would look to maybe a prop on Kluber on strikeouts. I get a feeling he strikes out a lot of players today. But I got to say, Cahill's not been bad either, but he's off the DL. If he was not coming off the DL, I would look under in this game.
Absolutely. You're right about that. That was one of the things I was looking at because Cahill's numbers would match up exactly because can you see Kluber, in an honest effort today, 7 2/3 innings, 110 pitches, 1 earned run giving up. And if you had a decent guy on the opposite side that can keep it to win like a 5-1 game, which is what you would anticipate, right?
Yeah, I mean, you look at his numbers, though. They have 6 starts, 43 innings, 64 strikeouts, 1 home run, an ERA of 1.26. Corey Kluber, nasty stuff. Yeah, I think the Indians will win, clearly, but maybe a 2.5, late 2.5 runs. I don't know. Maybe you think this one's 6-1 or something. I don't know. But, yeah, there's not a ton of value here. I guess I'll say the Indians will win, but it's not exactly, it's kind of a square play, isn't it?
Yeah. Last game of the day, 979, 980, 7:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Houston and Atlanta down in Hotlanta. Peacock on the mound versus Newcomb. -137 road favorite opening for Houston here. Jeff, and since been bet up to Bet Online at -151 over under 9.5 it opens, 9.5 completely across the board in this one. Some stats. 2 pitchers, Jeff, moving in the right direction. 1.76 ERA last 3 starts for Peacock. How about Newcomb? A 2 ERA in his last 3 starts. That's a high over-under. I know it's a great hitting environment. Houston should be able to hit, but it's pitchers that, Newcomb hasn't pitched against Houston, so we'll see if they can get through the rotation. But again, a high over-under at 9.5 stated here for 2 decent pitchers out there.
Yeah, Newcomb has been very good, surprisingly. In 4 games, an ERA, 1.48, 4 earned runs over 24 1/3. You look, though, at his splits, Donnie. A left-handed hitter hitting 346 against Newcomb, right-handers 143. So, if we get some lefties in the lineup tonight against a Houston team that we know can hit, Donnie, I get a feeling Newcomb gets worked in this game. He's been very much an overachiever in his 4 games. Yeah, I think Houston unloads on him. I would look team total over here. This team's been fantastic on the road. Ball should be flying out in Atlanta today. I don't trust Peacock, so I'm not interested in the side, but I would look team total over. I think for the first time, I think he gets a rude welcome, Donnie, to the major league. I mean, Sean Newcomb can't pitch well tonight, can he? He could.
What is well, though? 3 earned over, 5-6 innings is what you would look for.
I'll say this. I think he gives up more than 4 runs, and I'll let the bullpen give up 1 or 2 more. The team total here would be 4.5 or 5, I would think. I think they win I think they score 7 or 8 here.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt I can say it. I'm on one game a little bit later in the day today, so I'm going to have a nice afternoon off to drink, hit the pool, sun up, grill out, enjoy the 4th of July, take the kid to some fireworks, and hopefully cash another ticket there as we've been doing pretty well past couple games. What's up, man?
Also, isn't Sean Newcomb a top prospect? Yeah, he is, and I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying with the 4 games he's pitched, he's been overachieved. And I think finally facing a lineup like Houston, I think he's going to get roped. I really do. At some point, he's going to get jabbered back into regularity again. You saw it with a guy like Zach Eflin. He pitched well for a number of starts. Nick Pivetta as well. Those guys really kind of started to come back to earth. That kid Strom for the Royals, I remember he pitched a really good game. Then he got crushed in his next start. For me, I think Houston will pound him today. As far as for me, some games that I'm looking at, I like Houston team total over. I did bet the Cubs under. I have the Yankees in progress. And I also like the Chicago White Sox a little bit, Donnie, and the L.A. Dodgers as well on the run line, which I don't know why I even need to say that anymore. That's just what I'm interested in. Nationals are up 8-2. They've really blown it open, Donnie. The Yankees and Toronto are scoreless, and San Francisco has a 1-0 lead. Everyone enjoy your 4th of July. I will be on, Donnie, an abbreviated version tonight, the late night on campus. Not going to be a long show, but if you can, I'd love for you to join me. I guess I'll have to leave my barbecue, Donnie, to get on the air here. But
bring some of the
SBR
food with you
brass,
on the air, man. Bring some with you.
well, the SBR brass is feverish today. They want people on the air, so I guess I will be. I'll also be on the air, Donnie, at 2:30 Eastern, recapping a little Confederations Cup and talking a little bit about some other things in football. So we'll be talking about that as well. Have a great 4th of July, everyone. If you're in the New Jersey area, you're welcome to join me at my cookout. All you have to do is get in touch with me. I'll give you my address. We have burgers. We have whatever you want. It is a great time on Ocean Road today in Ocean City. Donnie, you're welcome to join me if you want.
Absolutely. I will not be there.
You won't be there. That's fine. Keep in mind, if you're a woman and you have a fat ass and you're
and you have friends
and you're preferably African American, I'd love for you to join me. I will have the drinks flowing for sure. Donnie, have a great night, my man. We'll see you tomorrow on the roundtable.
Amen.